Hey everyone, Jackie here with Enjoying Life's Journey. Welcome back to our channel. So today's video is going to be about how we plan on finding work on the road so we can travel full-time in the RV. As well, I'm going to go over the 2 work camping jobs that we have already basically applied for and were accepted to, and I'll go over those as well. So this is a topic I've been wanting to share with you guys anyways, but I also had a viewer ask specifically about how we planned on making money on the road. So let's take a look at their question. Banking on Money says, I do have one question. How do you plan on earning income on the road outside of YouTube? Thank you for your question. And so today's video, let's go ahead and tell you guys how there are different ways that you can make money while traveling, and more specifically, how we plan on making money on the road. So thanks for your question. All right, so like I mentioned, I mentioned the word work camping. So I want to say work camping, but some of the jobs and some of the resources that I'm showing you don't necessarily always apply to full-time RVers. It could be travelers in general, or it could also be just seasonal work where it's not necessarily, it doesn't really matter where you live. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. So our situation, we're going to be living full-time in the RV, so we will be able to travel. We do want to look for jobs that are seasonal. That way we can basically work a couple months in one location and then move on to the next location. As well, we want to be able to save enough so we can take a couple months off each year where we're not concerned about making an income during those months. Now, as far as work camping goes, there are a few different options. Some of the more familiar is that it's a work camping job where you actually are a camp host at a specific campground or RV park. And the majority of those are only going to give you your site for free, and most of them are full hookup sites. So you'll get your site for free in exchange for a certain amount of hours that you need to work for them to basically pay for your site. So with those situations, those are mostly really good situations for people who don't necessarily need that extra monthly income coming in. So maybe people who are retired and only living off of Social Security or retirements, and they just want a free spot to stay, things like that. For us, though, we need that monthly income coming in. We are debt free, which helps out a lot, but you still have your normal living expenses. You still need food, you still need gas money to get around, and you still have some of those other monthly bills like insurance and things like that. Your regular household cleaning, things like that. So you're always going to have some type of expense that you need to pay for. So those jobs are great. Again, those might be some jobs that we might be considering as we become maybe a little more financially secure. But for now, we want to look for work camping jobs that actually not only supply you with a campsite, but pay you an hourly wage. And so I'll go over the 2 jobs that we found so far. But then the third option I was mentioning are seasonal jobs, where they may not necessarily pay for your campsite, but you're working for an hourly pay. They might have an RV park or campground near where you get a discounted rate. Some of them, if you're not living in an RV, actually supply housing, say you're working for a hotel, things like that. So those are some options. And then there could be you're working a seasonal job or a part-time job or something like that, where you're going to have to go find your own place to stay and then commute to that place. So those are some of the ideas of some of the types of jobs, not necessarily work camping, but work camping types of jobs that you're going to have on the road. As well, a lot of people who do independent work, they're entrepreneurs, they can work online, maybe they do freelance work, writing or web design, or even say they do photography or things like that. So there's like your freelance contracting. They have a blog. They, like myself, I have a YouTube channel. I'm working on a blog as well. So building a mobile income that you can do online, or just a mobile income in general where you can go meet clients is another way to make money online. But for us, we're starting off working as we build our remote business, if you will. We want to work seasonal work camping jobs that pay us an hourly wage and supply the campground for the most part. So I'm going to jump on the computer here and show you. I'm going to start off with the first two jobs that we actually have lined up and just briefly go into how that process worked. And then I'm going to share some of the other websites that we've been looking at as a good resource to help us find future jobs coming up as well. So let's jump on the computer. All right, so the first one that we're going to be doing is Sugar Beet Harvest. So basically, sugarbeetharvest.com is what I'm on. And I actually found out about this from fellow YouTubers. So a lot of times if you Google work camping jobs and things like that, or jobs for travelers, things like that, you're going to find a lot of resources. You might have to sift through some videos or sift through some blog posts and things like that. But you'll start seeing those type of resources. Again, I found this one through several people on YouTube. They said that they were able to make a decent amount of money in a very short amount of time. The harvest only runs for the month of October. Sometimes the harvest is done in 2 weeks, and then sometimes it lasts a little over October, but we plan on, we basically said, okay, we're going to work it for the month. And basically, it is kind of labor intense. They are working to get all of those beets out of the ground so they can basically freeze for the winter and start getting ready so then they can later extract the sugar from them. So you will be working 10, 12-hour shifts, basically 7 days a week, basically for the season. So, and again, it's kind of, some of the positions are more labor intensive. So it's up to you, if that's not something for you, then definitely I wouldn't even bother with that job. But Ricky and I both are still pretty young. We're in our mid-30s and we're really fit, so we felt like it would be a good way to make some quick money. And think of it this way: we're getting a workout in. We're basically getting paid to work out. It's how we're kind of looking at it. And we do have kids, so an option would be that just one of us would do it and one would stay with the kids. But we decided to help us make the most amount of money, we're both going to do it. So my mom is actually going to take the girls for the time that we are there. And we'll talk about that also as we share our experience with everything. But basically, you just go on the website. They used to have it where they would mail you a paper application and you would mail it back, but now they do have an online application. So Ricky and I, we each filled out a separate application, and they actually called really quick. We got a phone call probably in 2 days, just verifying what positions were available, what it was what the job was like. You had the opportunity to ask a bunch of questions, and then they also they basically just said, okay, we'll be in touch with you. We'll let you know what location you're going to be at as it gets closer. And then they did, and they let us know what location we were going to be at. And then they keep up again, and they let you know. Sorry, my daughter's in the background. I don't know if you can hear. They let you know what like location you'll be at, and then they let you know what campsite you'll be at. And then they keep in touch with you every couple weeks, but always get in contact with them as you feel you need to. If you have any questions, they're real good about calling you or emailing you back. And then you get our final connection with them was specifically what days we needed to be there. So we need to be there September 25th to get checked in at the campsite. We do all of our paperwork on the 26th. We do our safety training on the 27th, and then we officially start the harvest on the 1st. We'll have a couple days before we get started. So that one, basically, it kind of just shows you average what some people have made. So some people have made some pretty decent money. So that one, Ricky and I are going to be doing. It was really easy. Again, you just fill out the application. It's a very simple application, and they basically hire you, and they expect you to kind of commit to it. All right, so the second work camping job that we're going to be doing this year is going to be Amazon Camper Force. Now, this is another one that I had either seen some people had talked about it on YouTube, or I found there's a blogger. She doesn't do too many videos, but she's very active on her blog. It's I forget it. I can't think of it. Stellar Orchard Stellar or something like that. I don't know. I'm sorry. Sorry. But she actually, when she first hit the road, she started documenting how she was finding jobs and the experience of how it went. And I thought, you know what, that sounds like, it's warehouse work. In case you're Amazon, basically Amazon.com. So it's warehouse work. So basically, there's a few different jobs that you could be doing. So I thought, I've worked in a warehouse before. My husband's worked in a warehouse before, so we thought that would definitely be something that would be doable. And if you've been watching any of our previous months when we started doing our budget report cards, I actually worked for Amazon doing a seasonal job out here in Phoenix. So it wasn't the work camping job, Camper Force, where I was given a campsite, but it was basically the same type of work that I'll be doing. So I gave it a test run. So I did it for the season, and it's totally doable. It's a decent amount of pay. So again, this is a work camping job that they supply your campsite, full hookups, and they supply you an hourly wage. So that's the best bet for us. So the hourly wage is basically about $10.75 an hour or more if you're working in the later shifts. So again, like I mentioned, it's kind of like warehouse work. So they do, if you're doing the full-time camper force, then you will be working, 12-hour shifts or 10 or 12 hour, or I think it's 10 hour. So I think, sorry, I'm all over the place. I believe it's 4 days a week for 10 hours, but then during the season that we're going to be working, they could have you work a fifth day, so you'd be working 50 hours. So you would get that overtime, the extra hours, and then they do have a bonus at the end if you complete the season. Now that season, unlike Sugar Beet is just the month of October. Amazon is, some of them can start, some people are starting as early as August. Some people are starting now, and we're actually going to be starting at the tail end. We'll probably be with one of the very last groups. The season goes through December 23rd, and we're going to be starting around November 7th because we wanted to allow ourselves time to finish the harvest, pick up the girls, and then head down. And the Camper Force, they do 3 different locations. I'll just show you here. Basically, you have Kentucky, Tennessee, and Texas. Texas fills up fast. So if you want Texas, I recommend applying, again, probably 6 months ahead of time. With all of these seasonal jobs, the work camping jobs, because they're pretty much seasonal, I recommend applying about 6 months out, just as a little tip. But Texas filled up fast when we started deciding to apply, and then we were going to shoot for Tennessee because I have some family in Tennessee, but by the time we actually got online and applied, Tennessee was full as well. So we went ahead and went with Kentucky. So what we ended up doing, because we will have the girls, it will be too hard for Ricky and I. We both cannot work the same shift, and we cannot, the way it would work, it'd be really hard for him to work and then me to switch with the girls and then to come in. So for us both to work the full time just isn't feasible. So what I went ahead and what I will be doing, so Ricky got hired on as the full-time camper force, so we got our site and everything through him. Now I will be trying to get on as a part-time temp like I did out here in Phoenix. And the way that works is you actually go through a temp agency for that. So I'm not officially on yet, but Ricky is on, so he'll be on, and basically that hourly pay that he'll be will cover our monthly expenses with no problem, and then we will not have to pay for our campsite, which will be nice. So if I'm able to get on part-time, then that's all going to be extra savings for us. So those are the 2 jobs that we have to finish out our year. So we'll be doing October in North Dakota. That's the location we ended up getting for the sugar beet harvest, and we'll be doing November, December in Kentucky for the Amazon Camper Force. But some other ways, some other websites that are good to look at, I'll go ahead and bring them up. This one is coolworks.com, and again, this isn't necessarily work camping jobs. You're as far as hosting a campsite and things like that. They're like real jobs. A lot of them are hospitality jobs. So you can search for different jobs based on the state, by the season, if you want a specific national park. So these, again, like I mentioned, they're going to be a lot more of the adventure jobs or hospitality, housekeeping, cooking, things like that. And some of them do supply housing for you. So again, if you're not an RVer, these could work for you. Some of them include meals. But if you are an RVer, obviously that housing isn't going to benefit you. So when you're applying for these jobs, you want to find out firsthand if they have um, a campground with RV spots available, or if there's anything in the area that you could possibly commute to that would still benefit you traveling out there. And a lot of these, they may include the RV spot in exchange because they're not doing the housing. They may do the RV spot, or they may discount some of the national parks. I'm noticing you still have to pay for your site, but it's at a discounted rate versus if you were just visiting. And then some of them may not have any type of accommodations for an RV whatsoever, so you have to look outside or decide on a different job for that. So we want to look for the cool works. We're interested in working in some of the national parks is what we're going to be looking for. So for summer, we're going to try to get a job at the national park. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. But again, this is a great resource for you guys, coolworks.com. And that's free to search through there. Another site that's free to search is workcampingjobs.com. I haven't really looked too much in here, but basically you can put kind of like your ad as a resume on there, or you can look up the ads that other people have done. So under help wanted ads, and you could basically say in here, okay, I would like to show ads that are for full hookups only. So again, those would just be your camp host type jobs, or just salary. Or for us, we want full hookups and salary. So we would look for the jobs that have full hookups and salary, and you may not have too many options. And then you'd have to look through, what state are you wanting to look, and just go over that and do that. So that's a free resource that you can look to look for jobs. So I may be using that. I haven't really looked at it too much. Another great website is Work Camper News. So it's workcamper.com, and without the C. And basically that one is a paid membership. So if you want to see a full actual listing, you do have to pay a yearly membership. Not sure how much that is. I'm not officially part of them yet. I feel if I can find jobs without paying for a membership, then I would do that first. But they do have here, if you look under featured employers, they do have a list of their employers. So I would recommend, if any of those companies sound interesting to you, so Amazon's on there, then maybe just check out that actual company on their website and see what they're hiring for. So that's a way to kind of get an idea of who you can work for without paying that membership for the work camping job. And then the other one that's another paid membership is Escapees RV Club. So if you are a member of the Escapees RV Club, then you can go on their job board, and again, you can look for work, or you can actually post something if you want to hire someone. I am a part of Escapees RV Club. I haven't officially signed up though. I joined Full-Time Families RV Club, and because I signed up for a year with them, I do get 1 year free of the Escapees. So I haven't officially signed up with them yet. So I will go ahead and take advantage of that 1 free year membership, and go ahead and look at that and make sure any of the paid things on their website are worth the membership as well. So those are basically other ways that we're going to be looking for jobs in the future. Yeah, so I hope those are just some of the websites that we're going to be utilizing. Like I mentioned, though, we are also working on the blog, where we'll be continually doing videos for YouTube, and we'll be trying to start basically our business online and everything as we work these jobs. So the websites are really good resources for those of you who don't mind. That's more of a minimum. They are a little more of a minimum wage type job, but a majority of them you are getting your campsite paid for, which is good. So basically it's like having no rent. Unless you have a payment on your RV, then you're going to have that kind of like rent. So for us it works out great because we are at a debt, so we're not going to have to make a ton of money to sustain this lifestyle. Amazon Camper Force, I feel like we'll continue to do every year, just move from try all the different locations out because like I said, I've already worked there and it's definitely, I like the job. I like warehouse type jobs. Kind of just go in, you focus on yourself, you do your job, and then you go home. You know, it's kind of, I like that. So we'll definitely, since we're doing Kentucky the first time, then we definitely want to check out Texas because I do have my brothers in Texas, and then Tennessee again. Like I said, I do have a cousin in Tennessee. So we'll try other locations for Amazon. As far as the sugar beet harvest, it's not sure yet. We'll see how this year goes. We'll see how the girls do with my mom. Maybe we'll get one more season in next year time, or we may just do it like I said, where just Ricky does it and I'm with the girls or something like that. So we'll kind of play that one by ear. It would be nice to be able to do it in the future because, like I said, you can earn a lot of money in a short amount of time. But we did think because there's the sugar beet harvest, there has to be other harvests out there as well. But we're definitely going to be checking out the coolworks.com. Like I said, we want to try to find a summer job in a national park or possibly, I don't know, I actually have one of my cousins who's in Florida. I'm not sure if she still does, but she worked for Disney World. So I'm going to see if she still works there. Maybe we can get a seasonal job or some type of position even doing that. So we'll see how that goes. So definitely I'll leave all of those websites that I showed you. I'll leave a link in the description box. But, you know, look around. Like I said, there's a lot of videos out there. There's a lot of blogs out there about people talking about their experiences of where they worked, how they found the job, how they liked it, and the pay and things like that. So I hope this answered your questions. I hope it gave you a little bit of direction if you are looking to travel full-time. You're trying to figure out some ways to make some money on the road. I hope this helped you guys out. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.